After Athens, the first area of Greece that I explored on my epic road trip was Peloponnesos, or as it's known, the Peloponnesian Peninsula, which is a bit of a tongue twister. And it is also the southernmost place in all of Greece, excluding, of course, the islands. Peloponnesos is stunningly beautiful. It was mesmerizing. It is home to so many ancient cities like Sparta and to so many ancient sites like the Epidavros Odeon or ancient Olympia. And it has to have been the best part of my road trip. Honestly, if I had to choose between visiting Peloponnesos or, sticking to the part of the mainland that is still attached to the continent, hands down, I would choose to visit Peloponnesos. And in fact, I would say if you have to choose, and let's say you only have like a week or two and you can't do all of the mainland, I would choose to do Peloponnesos over the continental mainland. I started with Peloponnesos because if you're going to do a trip around Greece's mainland, odds are you're going to drive around in some sort of clockwise or counterclockwise fashion. Most of the cities and most of the sites that you're going to want to see are located across the country's really extensive coast. And so odds are, again, if you're going to be driving, you're going to be going either south and following a circular pattern from there, or you're going to be making your way north and following a circular pattern in the opposite direction. Besides starting in Peloponnesos, I continued in a clockwise fashion when I entered Peloponnesos because I wanted to take advantage of the nice weather that I still had. When I visited in the beginning of November, the temperatures were still in the mid to high 20s, and so I actually wanted to get in a few beach days before the weather took a dip. And I think I actually managed to get some pretty decent weather up until my last day in Kalamata. Afterward, the temperatures dropped to, the high teens and low 20s, which, wasn't all that ideal for beach weather. But hey, I managed to get in, I think, 3 separate beach days, or at least 3 separate beach times. So I'm happy. And of course, similar to the rest of Greece, Peloponnesos, you're going to find most of the places located somewhere along the coast as well. So it just made sense to continue that clockwise pattern that took me down to the south of Peloponnesos and then up along the western side, up to Patras, and then back into the mainland. There is so much to see and do in Peloponnesos, and I tried my best to discover a driving route that didn't see me doing a lot of backtracking, again, which is one of the reasons why I followed more of a circular pattern, because, gas ain't cheap, right? And so even though there is so much to see and do, I would recommend that the 3 unmissables are, Nafplio, Monemvasia, and I would have to say the Mani Peninsula. Even if it's just what's called the outer Mani Peninsula, which is what I ended up making my way through, not the inner Mani Peninsula, these 3 parts of Peloponnesos simply cannot be missed. And I would also say, to sort of round up like a top 5, the Epidavros Theater, which is epic. Absolutely epic, as well as ancient Olympia, because it is the birthplace of, the modern Olympics, and it is where, the ceremonies return to for the Olympic flame when the Olympics are actually held. I just want to highlight here before we move forward that what I'm essentially doing with these videos is I'm actually taking you on a virtual tour of the tour that I did. And I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, because I think it just makes the most amount of sense, right? I mean, why jump around geographically? And 2, I'm doing it because if you're looking to do a similar road trip, even if it's maybe a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, I would actually recommend that you follow the path that I took, right? So if someone were asking me for advice on how to do a road trip through Greece, I would tell them to basically watch my videos and follow the path that I did. That would actually be my recommendation. So that's why I'm doing all of these videos in the order that I'm doing them in. I am really excited to walk you through this majestic part of Greece, and I'm so excited that you have chosen to come with me on this virtual recreation of the tour that I did. There are 3 videos that are going to summarize the trip that I did through Peloponnesos. One part is going to focus on the northeastern sort of quadrant. One part is going to focus on the central and sort of south southern portion of Peloponnesos, and then one video is going to focus on the western part of the region. And so with those 3 videos, you will get a comprehensive view of all of the major cities, all of the major sites, and some tips and advice on where to stay, what to see, what you can skip, and what you shouldn't skip.